Hey guys, and welcome back to a new video. I was actually just making some beats off camera and I made this super crazy guitar beat. So I thought I might as well just break down the beat so you guys can learn something from it as well. So here's the preview of the beat. So I'm firstly just going to start off with breaking down a sample. So the sample, I actually made it a while back. It's in my Libra sample pack. You guys can of course check out the whole sample pack using the link down below. But it's actually this number 6 sample in the pack. And the sample sounds like this. So this sample was actually inspired by a guy named Young Dizza on YouTube. He's got some crazy beats on his channel, so make sure you guys go check him out. But I was actually just scrolling through YouTube trying to find some popular beats. It was basically just to get some inspiration. So that's a nice tip for you guys if you have a lot of beat block. So for this one, I first started with this pick nylon guitar in Contact. I'm just using the Samba preset right here. The BPM is 130 and the scale I was working in is D minor. So this is how the guitar sounds. So the guitar sounds super nice, but I'm going to delete this pattern to show you guys how you can make something similar. But for this one, I was actually starting on the first note in the scale above the D. So it was actually this E right here. So then we want to skip the first two highlighted notes right here and go for this A. And then we just go for this C right here. Now it sounds like this. So it's a very nice sounding chord, but now we want to go down to the D on the root note right here. Now I want to keep some of the notes consistent from this first chord. So we're going to use the same A right here. But instead of going for the same C right here, I'm actually going to go for the D, which we're already using down here. Now we're just going to copy this over, and that's basically the chord progression used in the melody. Now, of course, to make it a bit more unique, you can obviously invert some of the notes like this. You can also adjust this one down or up right here. Now remember to strum the notes obviously and also randomize the velocity. Then of course to add some more movement to the melody, we definitely want to add some accent notes here and there. You can obviously cut these ones right here. We can also just copy this note over here. So now we have this. Now we obviously just want to repeat that step with the filler notes on each part right here. So we can have a note up here. Now, especially with guitar beats, I definitely like cutting up notes like this. So we can use the same note several times. It's going to sound a bit more realistic since if you're playing a guitar in real life, you're obviously going to use the same note several times. So now we have something like this. Now a cool trick you guys can use is just to copy a note above it like this. Then just hold Alt on your keyboard and move it slightly to the side. It's going to give it this strum effect, so just do this throughout the melody. So that's basically how you guys can make a similar pattern to the one we used inside the sample. So now let me just paste my original pattern back so you can go through the effects. So the first effect was this RC20 using the 103 preset. Then I just added some roam at about 17% to give it a bit more reverb, some EQ just to cut out the highs, and lastly I just used this Memory Man preset in Echo Boy just to give the guitar some delay. So without any effects, the guitar sounds like this. And with the effects on, it gives it some more life. So that was basically it for the guitar. The next thing was this flute. That flute right there is just crazy. It's actually this ancient Duduk flute from Sonoscore. Now for the effects on the flute, I was actually just using this roam right here at standard settings on 28% and some EQ just to cut out some of the frequencies I didn't want inside a flute. So together they sound like this. So when the flute was not playing, I wanted a vocal in the background. So I was just using this ancient message preset in Distant Voices. It's just a vocal phrase that sounds like this. So I just wanted that vocal in the background when the flute was not playing. But for the effects, I just had this standard reverb right here and some EQ to cut out the high frequencies. Together with the guitar, it sounded like this. So that was pretty much it for the sample. The last two things I added was just this sub bass from my drum kit. It's just this sub bass from my No Limit drum kit. You can find it in the 808 section right here. And then I also just added this jungle texture right here, which is also inside my drum kit. So then I just structured out the sample like this and made sure to put the stems on the end right here. Make sure you guys put your stems on the end right here. It just makes it way easier if you don't like the normal structure right here. So that was pretty much it for the sample. Now for the beat, I actually started off with pitching down the sample 2 semitones, so it sounded a bit lower. So I then started off with this start open hat in my drum kit. And remember guys, if you want to use the same drum sounds as me, you can check out my No Limit drum kit using the link down below. But for the open hat, I just put it on the first hit right here. Then I just had this phone clap in my drum kit, just put it as a standard bounce right here. So it's super basic. For the hi-hats, they sound like this. So this hi-hat pattern right here actually comes from my MIDI folder in my drum kit. I think it's this number 7 one right here. So it just sounds very nice with the melody as well. It's not too busy, but it's not too loose as well. The next thing I added was this open hat right here. It's just a small little touch, but it actually adds a lot since it comes right after the hi-hat roll. And I had this lion's rim from my drum kit as well. Just layered it with a clap and made sure it hits right after. Then for the 808, I just had this spins 808 right here. So I just made sure to turn the out knob a bit. And then I also went to the effects panel right here and just boosted it a tiny bit. And then I just layered it with the kick right here. It just makes sure it hits a bit harder. So the 808 sounds like this with the melody. A super cool trick I did right here is I actually have a kick hitting right here, but I made sure to cut out the 808 right here so that it doesn't hit when the kick hits. So it just actually gives it some unique bounce right here. It's super subtle, but if you listen for it, you can definitely hear it. So that's pretty much it for the drums. Now let me just show you guys the whole beat and go through the arrangement. So to start off the intro, we just have the guitar and the texture. Then the sub bass and flute comes in.
Shut up, Marko. Marko.
For the first part of the hook, we only have the vocal and the guitar. Cut out some of the drums right here and have a water drop. Now the flute comes in on the second part. Then we cut out all the drums right here. Here we only have the guitar and the texture again. Then the flute comes in on the second part again. Then we have this bridge coming up right here. Here we only have this love filter. Filters the sound out builds up for the hook again.